Welcome to episode 6 of Through It All. I've Got You with Mark and Sharanda. We want to thank you for tuning in and listening to us as we explore the many seasons of marriage and talk about Through It All. I've Got You. How are you doing today, baby?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing well. We didn't give a teaser last time or a preview of what we were going to talk about, and as we were discussing it amongst ourselves, we said that we would talk a little bit about, first we said compromise, and you gave a response that made me not want to talk about compromise yet. And you said, are you scared? I was like, we'll just talk about something different. So the different we'll talk about today is the chase never ends, or the chase never stops, no matter how long you've been married. So episode 6 will be the chase never ends. We'll start out with a question. When you hear the chase never ends, what does that make you think about? First thing comes to your mind.
That we pursue each other no matter what.
And when pursue, break that down a little bit more. What do you mean by pursue? Because that can go a lot of different ways.
Basically, we keep the flame going in the marriage the same way that we chased each other when we were dating. We should continue to do that throughout our marriage. Flirt with each other, text each other, whatever it is that you do or what you did to get that person, continue to do it.
Kind of what I think about too is, when you hear about the chase never ends, it's the constant pursuit of you in many different ways. It could be those things you talked about. It could be a deeper understanding of you and who you are in that moment or in that season, because we will all change a multitude of times as we age, as we get to know each other even more. So I think it's chasing you. I think it's chasing joy with you, happiness with you. Of course, the pursuit of you, that is something that should never end. And unfortunately, you hear about couples that does die down, and they don't think it's as important to, as you said, keep that flame burning. And I think that's very important. No matter what that flame looks like, it has to continue. The other things I think about when it talks about the pursuit is you pursuing your goals, you chasing your goals, encouraging you to chase your individual goals or our family goals. Chase never ends on how we deal with our children or how we deal with other people. So it's a multitude of things that I think about when we talk about the chase never ends. Right. We had a fun weekend this weekend. We went to your family reunion. I think it was the 45th that you celebrated, but it was the 47th
right.
family reunion, and you all do it every year.
Right.
And we had different themes this year, and one of the themes was it Western?
It was Western.
And you ended up getting some cowgirl boots and and a nice jacket, and you took a lot of pictures, and there was a chase that sprung up in me. I was like, oh my, look at that. Hadn't seen that one before. But we had a really good time. We took a lot of pictures and got a chance to just, a lot of times when I think about a chase, I'll watch you from afar and see how you interact with people and interact with your family and friends. And it gives me, I hear that laugh come through, and I hear it across the room, and it brings a smile to my face. And once, I want to be a part of that laughter or make sure I contribute to it, and not, as they say, turn that smile upside down. They always say turn that frown upside down, but I don't want to be the cause of not you having that joy. And I've been the cause of it before, and I may be the cause of it again. I don't plan to, but you never,
I hope not.
Me neither. Things happen. Unintentionally, intentionally.
Right.
But, I think about the chase. It was something we saw on Facebook. I think it was someone that posted about should you pursue your spouse? How important is it? Do you remember that? You know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. I don't know, was that Instagram?
It was Facebook or Instagram, but it was a poll that went out about should you prioritize something like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not only spending time, but I think um, sparking up intimacy with your spouse. They said, should you prioritize that as you? What do you think about that? I mean, you talked a little bit about it, but
Yeah, absolutely. You should prioritize it. Just like you schedule everything else, or put other things in perspective. I think you should do that same with your pursuit of your spouse. You should make that a daily thing. I think. I know for us, we send text messages throughout today, like "Good morning, babe. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day." That can start it right there, or just sending memes or gifts to each other, so that way that can start things going when you get those little things. And you're talking about how you watch me. I also watch you, like when I get to travel with you. I love to see you up in front of people speaking, because God gave you that gift to be able to get up in front of people and speak, and to sit there. I just be in awe, and I tell you afterwards, like, babe, I enjoyed you speaking. I just really, that's something that I enjoy watching, and put a smile on my face to see you do that.
yeah, I appreciate that. It's something that yeah, he gave me a part of the gift, and the rest was work. And that's with anything. No matter what you're doing, there's times in front of the mirror. There's recording yourself speaking and critiquing it. All those things, no matter what your God-given talents are, you got to work them and try to perfect them. You won't be perfect at it, but you'll continue to get better at it. And even in pursuing each other, you'll find certain things that don't resonate the same,
Mm-hmm.
even as they may have used to resonate it the same. And so you've got to get creative to, drive that, continue that spark, or drive that romantic flame, or even, you hear people talking about a lull in the marriage, or a lull in the relationship, and you want to do everything you can to avoid that, because typically, not typically, sometimes when that lull happens, there's an opportunity for things to go awry, for others that see your joy in your marriage want to steal your joy, and
Yeah.
they may want it for themselves and not want it with someone else. They may want it with your spouse.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though I think it's important to get away, just you and your spouse. I think that time away, yeah, you might not have kids at home or whatever, and you have that alone time, but I think it's something about when the two you just get away, you know.
Yeah, you break up the routine. You are exploring, whether it's a new city, whether it's somewhere you go all the time. You're getting back with old friends or something like that. It just helps you reconnect in different ways. And when you talk about pursuit, and I talked about getting to know them even more at a deeper level as your spouse discovers new interest. We did talk about time apart, and it's good to have your own interest,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also good to, even whether it's I call it a high level interest, or just a curiosity. You don't have to go as deep as them in something, but that pursuit of them will continue to draw you closer to each other. And I don't care how many years it is, you want to continue drawing closer to each other
Yeah.
in all areas of the relationship, in all areas of your life.
Right. Right. I think everyone loves that chase. No one does not want to be chased. Everyone loves that from their spouse. When I'm in the kitchen, I love when you come in here, you hug me or you kiss me. I love when we're out in public, and we've never stopped doing this, but holding hands or whatever, or stop touching each other, like when we're on the couch, whatever. we might lay on each other, you lay on me, or whatever. It's not like we're apart from each other. Majority of the time when we're on the couch, we are up under each other or whatever. But I just love, that you still touch me and I still touch you.
Yeah, and I can remember early on in our marriage, right? We you may have an intimate night, and a couple of days go by, and you're wondering, okay, who's gonna start it? Is I started it the last 3 times. Is she gonna start it this time? And I'll admit, I used to get pouty. I used to get pouty if we went too long.
You did.
And then you were like, listen, it's up to you. If you want something,
I always tell you go for it.
go for it, right? And that, as I think through that,
I used to pout so bad.
okay, I mean, I said I pouted. You
Oh
didn't
my
have to.
gosh.
I mean, you didn't. Just keep going with it. I said I took the L. I fell on the sword, and I did.
But you were pouting for no reason.
It was my mind playing tricks on me. That's an old song. You probably don't know that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It probably was during the time like when our children were younger, and I was tired a lot.
And I tried to respect that. We all have our own needs, but yeah, I did do that quite a bit. And speaking about that, it makes me think about things we've heard, and whether it's joint marriage sessions or talking with friends, or you talking with your friends individually, of spouses withholding themselves from their partner, whether it's I'm mad at them, or I'm gonna show them, or anything like that. And that's something that I would strongly tell people not to do.
Right.
Now it may be difficult to go there if you're angry, unless you want to have angry, angry intimacy. That could be beneficial for all, and then you can go back being angry later. But when you pledge yourself to one another, it talks about the whole you, mind, body, all of it, right? And when you use that as a vice or a punishment, I think it could backfire.
It could.
And it probably has backfired on people, because the urge doesn't go away, the longing doesn't go away,
right?
And so, unfortunately, if I don't agree with it, if your spouse doesn't do it, that person, whoever it is, the male, female, could start looking elsewhere, especially if it's a prolonged period of time.
Right.
It could cause a fraction or a fracture in the relationship. And when you're together, and intimate, as the Bible say, what is the Bible says is, as you get to know, the Bible says you know her, he knew her. There's just a connection, there's a closeness that comes from that. I think about the movies where they say I's married now, so I can do that. But withholding is something that in marriage counseling you'll hear people talk against,
right,
and recommend that you not do. And even if you talk through what that looks like, I'm mad at you, this is why I haven't pursued you, it could help. And this is why I'm mad at you, right? You didn't X, Y, Z, and I expected you to X, Y, Z. I think that's helpful. And if you don't communicate that, how does a person know? And that pursuit could stop.
Right.
And I'm waiting to pursue you. I'm waiting for you to pursue me, and you waiting for me to pursue you. And we never
pursue each other.
And then we start to drift. So you have to just be mindful of that.
Right.
I'd say be mindful of the null and the monotony of things too, because life, as you're lifing, you talked about it being tired or being busy. You may have things volunteer activities that you do, or things outside of work that you do, and it that stuff wears you down. It could be the kids. We went through a season of AAU basketball and football and baseball and all these things, and we just track with with the girl, and we were just tired. Like, just hold my hand. I'm going to bed. So just be careful of that in the different seasons of your marriage.
Right, right. I know. I've been guilty of withholding for being mad or for whatever, but as we progressed, down the line, I was able to tell you, the reasons why. And I told you, like, women, we're emotional. Like, if we feel like we're not getting help at home, sometimes I don't know if you can tell it on our faces, like, okay, she's frustrated, she's aggravated, you know, but we're emotional. Like, we want that help, like with the kids, excuse me, or whatever's going on, we need that help. And if we feel like we're not getting it, and then you want to get in the bed at night and be like, okay, let's get busy, and that's not happening.
I don't know. Sometimes we can tell. Sometimes we'll try not to look, because we know what the look is. So you try to ignore it and hope that it dies over. But the big part of that is that communication piece. Not being, you don't have to be harsh in the criticism, but you can be direct in the
Right.
this is what I need in order to make my life easier, and this is, can you help me here? Or and if it gets to that point, accept it, but try not to let it get to there. If you see
Right.
something, do something. Try to
Exactly.
step up, because
Jump in.
jump
Help.
in. Yeah,
Don't ask. Just jump in and help.
that's right. In all things,
In all things.
do it. Some other things I think about early on. I remember our wedding night, and you tried to pull the tired card, and I was like, "This ain't gonna be a precursor to our marriage. you're gonna have to power through this, girl." And that was, I just remember that distinctly. You remember that?
Yes, I remember.
I was, no. Hello. Now, you also have to respect that tired times too,
Yes.
right? Just because.
Be considerate.
Be considerate. That's the right way of putting it. Be considerate. And then sometimes you can't use "I'm tired" all the time either,
Okay.
because that could be.
Sometimes you got to just muscle up some energy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully you both are getting the same level of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if that, in that pursuit, if there's only one party being enjoyable, then that could cause some friction too. Like, hey, you get everything out of this and I get nothing. That's a problem. We'll get into that a little bit more in that topic, I think, more. But when you hear about never pursuing, it doesn't always end with intimacy. That's not the goal of pursuit all the time. The goal of the pursuit is really drawing closer to each other.
Right.
And like you said, the text messages, the calls, the simple things. I mean, you texted me this morning, "Hey babe, I love you. Have a good day." And I appreciate it, getting that text. I know we both were tired, and you had to help our youngest son today move some of his stuff into school. Came back and still was able to help out, not help out. You cook the meal, and I'm gonna clean up the meal, make sure I cleaned up, put up all the stuff as you chill out before we record. But that's just that we don't get there automatically. We get there through work, communication,
Yep.
trials and errors, some fussing, some do well, some do betters.
Yes. Exactly.
Which is why we didn't talk about
Compromise.
compromise, because I felt like this one could go. I don't think I don't compromise. I mean, I do say that I'm always right, but I say that jokingly.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, most of the time.
No.
Okay. A lot of the time?
No.
None of the time?
Some of the times. Not all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, just remember, as we close this out, that pursuit,
Chase.
flirting, communicating, texting, whatever your thing is, it could be love letters, it could be flowers, it could be gestures,
Your wife's favorite coffee.
That's right. That's right.
Favorite candy.
Whatever it is, this is the person that you said you want to grow old with and spend the rest of your life with. I know I've changed in the 21 years of marriage. You've changed in the 21 years of marriage. And, it's almost like rediscovering you. It's not drastic changes, but there are, things, subtle changes that happen. And there's joy in getting to know the you, finding new ways to pursue you, finding new ways to make you laugh and make you happy. You should always want to do that with that person that you are joined at the hip with until death does you part. As we close out this episode, we're encouraging you to love each other through it all.
Don't stop chasing your spouse no matter what. Don't let nothing come between that. Chase him or her, like you did before in the beginning.
I like that. You said don't let anything come between that. And that's frustration. You may go through some trials in life. You may go through hardships, but don't let those things stop you chasing one another, because that's who is going to prop you up in those hardships and those trials. That's who's going to help you get through those things, and you can do it so much better when a part of your life is happy.
Right.
We'll have enough problems on our own. Mm-hmm. Life will throw us enough problems, and we don't want to be the cause of each other's problems.
Right.
And a smile or joy can just help you find solutions in many ways, and just being pursued. I do like it when you pursue me. I like it. And you always say, you think I'm crazy, don't you? And my thing is like, I'm thinking you crazy if you don't. Like, I need you to, I want to be wanted. I want to be wanted, and I don't want to be wanted by anybody but you. It doesn't do the same if someone else out there wanted me. I don't want that. I want to be wanted by you and you alone. I'll never forget. So I'll say this as we close. I never forget after we got married, we did a work trip, and our team met our goal. And so part of what our manager did was they got everybody massages. And I don't know how long we've been married. It's maybe 10 years.
It was longer than that.
Yeah, quite that. And it must have been the first massage I got since we got married, not from you. And I was on the table, and the lady touched my back, and I jumped. And she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "You're the first woman to touch me with my shirt off since I've been married." She was like, and she laughed, and I laughed, and she was like, "This is part of the process, I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Not, I went right at to sleep because she was good at what she was doing. But that's how much I wanted you and you alone, is that I didn't just someone else touching me, and it wasn't, of course, it wasn't sexual or anything like that. It was a massage. But still, I was like, oh shoot, this is different. It's when you have that level of pursuit for each other or joy with each other, it just helps in so many ways. So we encourage you, as Sharana said, not to stop pursuing each other, not to stop loving on each other, rediscovering each other. And if you can do that, you'll know that through it all, you've got each other.
That's right.
If you don't follow us yet, please do. We're on all the different podcast platforms. The best way to get notifications is to follow, and please share this content. We want to keep this going, and we'll keep this going. We'll finish season 1. We're going to do 10 episodes, and then we're going to go into season 2, and in season 2 we'll look at starting to bring guests on. I do want to bring our parents on at some point and let them talk about what they want. There's some friends of mine that said, "Hey, I'm willing to come on. I'm not sure what the ratings are going to be." I'm like, "Hey, I'm not sure either, but we'll have you do it."
Oh gosh.
So, follow us on YouTube, follow us on our Instagram channel at Through It All I've Got You. On YouTube, you'll see our episodes starting to pop up there, and we'll get some other content out there. on those different social media platforms. But thank you all for being with us in this journey as we fill this out. This is new for us.
Yes.
And, you know, we want to be a blessing to you, and we want to be a blessing to others, because marriage is good.
Yeah. Marriage is wonderful.
Marriage is wonderful. I wouldn't have it any other way. Don't let what the world says, that marriages don't last. They do.
They do last. It's work.
It is work.
It's work, but it's worth it.
It is worth the work, because then you get to pursue that person all the time.
It's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it's good.
It is. And so thank you for joining us. Until next time on Through It All, I've got you. Wait, we didn't talk about next week.
We didn't.
Well, the next week. We do this every 2 weeks. So maybe we'll do compromise.
Yeah, let's do compromise.
Let's make sure we're in a good space. We'll make sure that I'm pursued you the whole time. I help out with some stuff. Okay.
Yeah, the dishes are waiting for you.
I already started. I put up the food. So I got it. I appreciate you doing what you did. So I got it. So until next time on Through It All, I've got you.
Next time.
With Mark and Sharenda. Thank you all for joining us. Take care.
Take care.